It's the Positive Forces Show, always giving you more, sending you positive vibes.
To change your
I'm your
lives.
host, Kimon Hall.
And I'm your co-host, Yoli.
In the house. What's up,
I'm
yos?
good. How are you, Kimmy Kim? Kim, Kimon, Kim's.
Wow. All of the above.
Yes,
We're doing well. We are doing
we're
well.
doing well.
Oh my
We are doing well
God.
too.
Oh my gosh. How was your week?
It was good. I can't complain about it. My schedule has switched yet again.
Mm,
So next week starts a new schedule.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Yep. But
That sucks. Really sucks.
it does. But rolling with it, like the Stevie Winwood song, Steve Winwood song.
Would say.
Roll with it, baby.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Well, question.
Answer.
Is there a Yoli's thought of the day?
No, we're not gonna do Yoli's thought of today. We're gonna take a break today.
We're breaking from that too.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right. So how was your week?
Let's see. Good question.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, I don't really remember it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. That's how fast it goes. I don't
Mm.
remember it. But I will say
Mm-hmm.
that I think part of it is because it was a short week,
Right.
which is
Right.
always great.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday went really fast, kind of like the song. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday came,
Mm-hmm.
and I was hoping that we'd get an early release. For my other Thursdays for me right now until next week is work from home day. Doesn't
Okay.
look like they because when you get an early release, you get an email, and there was no email. So they stayed the whole day. And then Friday was the 4th of July, and the 4th of July was awesome. I had a really great 4th of July. I got up late. My
Yeah.
son got up late. Then we got dressed, went to my neighbor. He had his annual 4th of July cookout. He has a pool, and he does a gang busting load of food. I mean, like burgers, hot dogs, ribs, pork chops, potato salad, baked beans, collard greens, name it.
You
It's
name
then
it.
all of it. Yeah. And
Mm.
so uh had that,
Mm-hmm.
and then made a to go box,
Mm-hmm.
and then met up with my friend
Mm-hmm.
Kimmy Kim.
Mm-hmm. In the house. Cha-ching.
And then we drove, and then my cousin came too. Shout out
Yeah.
to my cousin
Shout
Kevin.
out to Kevin.
Shout out to Kevin. And then we went to Snellville Town Green
Mm-hmm.
for their fireworks show.
It
And let me
was.
tell you, it's God, because the amount of cars and
Mm,
police and people out there, it was
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I tell you, God told us to turn right by the church. We turned right by the church. That he said, turn right again. We turned right again. And
Yep.
then we turned left.
And then we turned
And we were
left.
about to do a U turn. And
Yep.
out of the blue, here comes Kimmy Kim.
That
There's a park
motherfucker's
right
park.
there.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
I was like, reverse. So Kevin backed into the parking lot, and right there were the fireworks. It
Oh
was
my God.
awesome.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah, we
amazing.
got some nice pictures.
Yeah.
Kimon took video. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a pretty good, it like lasts about half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we did something that Kimon calls firework chasing.
Yes.
So we went firework chasing the Stone Mountain Park.
Yeah.
Almost got it, but we did see
Almost.
some fireworks while driving.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool too.
So Kevin is now a firework chaser.
Yes,
All right, Kevin.
yes.
Shout out to you.
Firework chaser. And so then the night was done, and that was great. But I had a wonderful 4th of July. It was awesome.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
A
That's
good
good.
one in a long time.
Guys, how was your 4th of July? Let us know in the chat. Let us know. Big up yourself. You choose radio and Reggae Global Radio family. YouTube radio, guys. We just want to say welcome, 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 welcome. Thanks for keeping it locked with us each and every Saturday and Sunday from 4 to 5 and from 6 to 7 a.m. All right, so we're going to be talking about being real with yourself.
Yeah.
And guys, I hope, especially the ladies, I hope that you look at that, listen to that topic, and actually think about what that really means. Men, you too, being real with yourself, being authentically real with yourself, paying attention to yourself, right? And that takes time. That's not something that happens overnight, especially when you're in your 20s, when you're in your teens, you're just living on what society has molded you into. You're living on what society has literally modeled for you, especially TV and reality shows and the things that we see outside. And it's living outside of yourself, trying to please other people. So we're going to talk about making sure, how do you see yourself? How do you see into yourself? How do you look into yourself? Be authentically you, and hey, change your life. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Nice.
All right. So, what do you think about that, Yola? Being real with yourself, being in alignment with yourself and your values and your identity.
I think that when you're younger, like Kimon said, that you're influenced by society, your parents, your friends, who
Hmm.
people think you should be,
Right.
um, who your parents think you should be, how you should be, what your values should be, what your career should be, and all that is people and society and your environment molding you into someone else that might not be you.
Hmm.
I think as you get older and you have more life experiences, a little kicks, a little hurts, a little cuts, some victories, you tend to start to develop or understand the things that you like,
Mm.
and they start to become important to you. And I think once they become important to you as you get older, they become these kind of like hard things that you have to pass on.
Mm.
And I think of your life, you have to have some life experiences,
Yeah.
some growing pains, some growth in general, even some spiritual growth, because God tells you how he thinks you should be, how you should be, and also um some cuts and some bruises. It
Hmm.
sounds bad, but unfortunately, in the world we live in, the only way that we can really grow, in my opinion, is if you go through stuff
Mm.
and you come out on the other side. And
Hmm.
hopefully it's good. And hopefully you've learned something. Because sometimes you'll go through stuff and you might not learn anything.
Right.
Or you might not know what you were supposed to learn. And you might
Hmm.
go through that same thing 100 times until you learn it so that you can get to the next step.
Yeah.
But you need those things for you to be closer to who you are or what
Mm.
your purpose is. Or you can take the spiritual route
Hmm.
where God has already told you what your purpose is, and
Hmm.
you just do that. So, yeah,
Mm.
that's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like the growing pains, like when you're in your 20s and even in your 30s. I think sometimes when you get into your 40s, that's when you really start to say, hey, I don't really care about certain things. And I've noticed even with myself, like certain friends that I once had, it's not that important to me to be able to always be in the mix, always doing what they're doing, always hanging out and doing whatever it is that we used to do. Why? We're evolving, they're evolving as well, right? So as you grow, you're supposed to evolve, you're supposed to be able to transition from the things that you used to do, because as you it is very important for you to be to realize who you are. So conforming to fit the expectations of other people and doing what other people want to do as opposed to what you truly authentically want to do, that's a key thing, because you can be with 1,000 people and still feel like you're in the wrong place,
Mm-hmm.
right? You could still feel alone, you could still feel like this is good. I could have a good time, but I don't feel that it's meaningful. I don't feel that meaningfulness that I need to have. So once you realize that you don't feel that meaningfulness, you look into it and figure out why. What's going on? Like, do a self-assessment check. Try to be more self-aware with how you're feeling. If everyone's going out to a party and you're just like, hey, I don't feel like going to that party, you don't have to say yes if you don't
Mm.
want to go. You can literally say, you know what? I'm gonna sit this one out. I don't really feel like going, and be okay with not going. Like,
Yes.
be okay in your choice. Be okay in and stand up and be like, nah, that's just not how I'm feeling right now. Hey, you guys go have a good time, and maybe I catch on next time. But you do not have to comply or try to conform to the expectations of others just because they're doing it.
Yeah, and be okay when they try to talk you out of it.
Yeah.
And be
Mhm.
okay if somebody or your friends or family ever tries to guilt trip you into doing something.
Mm.
Still being okay with you saying no.
Mhm.
And I especially like the part about being aware of your feelings. I think it's very
Mhm.
important. I think that some of us that say things like, I got a vibe or I got a feeling, it's all feelings. It's all you being in tune with yourself, but also with your environment and the
Mhm.
people that are around you and the people that you surround yourself with. So it's
Mhm.
always good to be aware of those feelings. And even that takes practice, being
Mhm.
able to, listen to your gut
Mm.
and and act on it.
Mhm. Yeah, because okay, so the norms, like, you're a black woman or just a woman in general, and you have to be successful, and you have to go and achieve. You got to go do this, and you have to go and do that, and the pressure is on. Period. And when a lot of people feel the pressure to do something, you know, when you feel pressure, guys, make sure that it's something that you really feel like there's purpose in it. You feel like, wow, if I do this, this is going to really matter. And just because achieving something might be great, but is it going to serve you once you've already achieved it? And then look into yourself and say, okay, now I'm doing this. Let me see what the bigger purpose of it was or is to be. Right.
Mm.
Yeah. So, just a lot of people think that if you are doing that, being you and sticking to what you want to do and making sure the individuality of you is seen, it's going to look like you're going against the grain. It's going to look like rebellion. It's
Or
going
they
to look
might think
like,
that you're being selfish.
yeah.
But you're, being real with yourself might be something that is external,
Mm-hmm.
like, being the best parent,
Mm-hmm.
being the best mother, which
Perfect.
requires you not to be able to go out all the time, but you're
Mm-hmm.
okay with it because you know that that's what you're supposed to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to do your best to be your best in that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be
Hmm.
your best in that. And the best in that, you being that best, is determined by you
Yeah.
and not what other people think
Think.
a great mother is supposed to be.
Right.
Because you have to be the best in your world and be able to stand on it and say, well, this is my truth. This is my reality. These are the things that I want in my life. And I want to structure even my kids in a certain way. I don't have to, it's not very popular to say, okay, I'm going to take my kids to church on Sunday. Some people might say, hey, let's go to a picnic, or let's go top golfing or something, or let's go to the park, right? Whatever. But you're just like, no, I want to take this path. And being able to stand in your path and stand in your truth and say, hey, this is where my family's going to go. That takes a lot of
Courage.
courage.
Yeah.
It does take a lot of courage.
Although I find that the courage part, it's a bit less when you get older, just in my
Yeah. Yeah.
experience.
You're just like, you don't care no more.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with you have been have accomplished some things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've been through life.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten the job. You've done the job well.
Yeah.
You've seen your career. You've
Mm-hmm.
done well at it. You've
Right.
raised children.
Right.
You did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
You've done all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
now you're like, you know what? It's almost like this being proud of yourself.
Mm.
It's being true to yourself.
And being proud of yourself, that's not even something that's popular.
No, it's not.
And people don't actually take the time to self-reflect and actually be in the moment and think, hey, I achieved this. I'm doing this right now. It's always futuristic. We're always thinking people hardly take the time to focus on the now and be
In the
happy in the
present.
now, be
Mhm.
happy in the present, right? And you have to be able to say, okay, this is where I am right now. I'm content. I'm happy. Like life is not as bad. Yes, I am going to do things for the future. Yes, I'm going to work on the things that I want. But hey, let's not miss life. Let's be real to ourselves and be here and praise yourself for the things that you've done.
Yeah,
You know,
I struggle with
pat
that.
yourself on the back and be like, hey, yo, I actually did that. It's meaningful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
struggle with that. But luckily, I have people in my life. One who's on right now. Shout out to Carol Carmino, all the way from Trinidad.
Hey, Carol.
Thanks for joining the show. One who, because I struggle with that, idea that, I'm actually am doing a good job at whatever it is I'm thinking I'm doing, whatever job I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
motherhood, job, life, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always nice to have people in your life that can point these things out to you when you forget, because it can be hard, like Kimon said, to notice that you are being real with yourself and that you
Mm-hmm.
have done a good job.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to see that and recognize that, and be in the present,
Mm-hmm.
and know yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And it's something that you should stop and do and actually think, hey, look at your son or your daughter. Look at, if you don't have kids, that's fine. But, look at the thing that you've achieved and look at the things. Look, a lot of times we have all these goals, and 10 years ago or 5 years ago, we're like, man, I want this. I wanted to achieve that. You're sitting in it. You're sitting in your 5 year ago dream. You're sitting in the dreams you had 2 years ago. You're actually doing it. But because you want to propel and you want to go further, now you're looking in the future, not enjoying what you have right now, because you're not the same that you were 2 years ago. You're
Hmm.
not the same you were 5 years ago, for sure.
Yeah, you pretty much make changes about every 6 months. And I don't think that we really take the time to see that
Hmm.
you're not going to be in the same place you were 6 months ago.
Hmm.
There's a good chance you're not. And
Right.
it doesn't mean that you've achieved the big raise or anything. It could be anything.
Hmm.
So I think lots of times you don't take time to look at the little things that
Hmm.
are just as important.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah. And
And
I think all that plays into being real with yourself.
hmm.
Being able to acknowledge what you've done
Yeah.
is you being real with yourself,
Yeah.
you know?
Kudos to you. Tell yourself, good job. Like, try that right now. Like, call your name and be like, yo, you did that.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back
Pat yourself on the
or
back.
look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror and affirm yourself, because some people don't get affirmed, and some people will affirm you in front of you and stab you in your back, right? But you guys affirm yourself. And in all of doing that, a lot of times people will lose friendships. You're going to lose friendships. Why? Because again, they might say, hey, you just think you've changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I've changed. Yes, I have changed. It's
Yeah.
okay to change. You want to change. As long as you're changing for the good. You might not be changing for the good of the group, but you're
Look good at that
changing
person.
for that, for the right, for that particular person. But you're changing for you, authentically changing for you. You're working on you consistently, right? And because you're doing that, hey, you're doing a heck of a job. And kudos to you for doing that.
I kind of feel like also being real with yourself is being able to recognize when you've done something wrong
Mm-hmm.
or you made a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
but not to like completely and totally condemn and beat yourself up
Chastise
about it,
yourself. Yeah.
but to recognize, because that's a form of growth
Mm-hmm. Of
too.
course it is. Yeah.
Recognizing that, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have done that. These are the steps that I can take to change that, and in that you're being real with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're not hiding behind a victim facade.
Mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not hiding behind, well, this person did that, so that's why I did this. It's more of a, I'm looking into myself
Mm-hmm.
to see what I did.
Mm-hmm.
and then using that to say, you know what, maybe next time I won't do it that way. Because if I'm trying to be who I really am, that takes steps to make yourself better and
yeah.
to see your mistakes
Mm-hmm.
and make changes if necessary.
Mm-hmm. Edit.
Yeah,
Edit yourself. It's okay.
it's okay.
You're not gonna get it all 100%. And no, you're not too old to change. You're not too young either. For doesn't matter. Edit yourself.
Yeah, I think that's how you find yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't have to be fit in. You don't have to fit in to be liked. Edit who you are as you go. You take the good from the people that you see, from the experiences that you've had, and then you move on because moving on is a part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where your purpose emerges from alignment, not performance. Get a pencil, write that down, get a pen. Your purpose emerges, comes from your alignment, not the performance, not the facade, the alignment with you and who you are, the places that you want to go, the things that you're going to, your trajectory, your now laser focus on you, laser focus on your path, laser focus on your thoughts. You're sitting down, you're reflecting. A lot of times I used to always want to just go out and have fun.
Uh-huh.
And now I find myself, I don't know if any of you are finding yourselves doing this, but you just like, I don't want to go out. I just actually want to just stay home, chillax, watch a movie, and just be in my own presence.
I think I've seen both sides because I have one friend that was in the, I want to stay in, but in the past year, she's decided that I want to go out,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine too, because, that's you being
Mhm.
what you really want to do. You
Mhm.
love to go hiking, you
Mhm.
love to go socialize, you like to go to a lounge. It's
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
Everything, and of course in moderation and being safe.
Mhm.
But the point is that you're doing things that are you,
Mhm.
that not only make you happy, but you feel comfortable with.
Mhm. Your friend that was used to stay home all the time probably had to go through a whole process and think, hey, why don't I try to be more of an extrovert, get out of being me, and now socialize with other people,
Perhaps.
right? I think sometimes that's a lot of self-reflection. Okay, I'm just home, I'm chilling. Let me, and it's a push. Like let me push myself to be so it's growth.
Yeah,
Whether
like even
you
out of your comfort zone,
yeah,
it's
so
growth.
either way.
Mhm.
Lisa. What's up, Lisa? Thank you for joining us on the Positive Forces
My
show.
girl, Lisa.
Yeah, put it in the chat, guys. If you're here, big up yourself. All right. So either way, either you're more extroverted or you're getting a little bit more introverted. It doesn't matter, but that's still growth, right?
But also too, if that's who you are, acceptance of you,
Mm-hmm.
I think is important. It's a part of growth, and it's a part of being real with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That you have embraced who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter if all your friends want to go out.
Mm-hmm.
You've decided that you're an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay
And
because
it's
that's who
okay.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go out sometimes. Sure, you do. But if you feel more comfortable being inside watching a movie, even if it's a phase or it's not a phase, that's
Mm-hmm.
where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you should embrace that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have a comment. Welcome to the Positive Forces Show, Egbert Allen.
Hi, Egbert.
Thank you for tuning in with us.
Yes.
His comment is, I like that statement. We need to understand that it's okay to spend time with yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the top ways of knowing what you like,
Mm-hmm.
what you want,
Mm-hmm.
what you need. Being real with yourself is spending
Mhm.
time with yourself.
Mm-hmm. And becoming better for others. Because
Absolutely.
once you start to realize who you truly are to the core, then you can be able to actually be present for somebody else. Lisa said,
Mm-hmm,
I'm with
mm-hmm,
you, Kimon. Yes, I've done enough partying. I love being home chilling. Exactly.
mm-hmm.
Right. And it doesn't necessarily say you're not going to go out. Right.
No.
But you've had enough of that. You realize you've reevaluated and thought, hey, I mean, I had fun. I've had enough of that. But my true purpose is not really that anymore. That's not really serving me anymore. And that's a self-reflection that you've done to realize that getting up and staying up late all the time and going out and drinking or smoking or whatever it is that people do, so is it necessary? Is it meaningful to you? If it's no longer meaningful, if no longer serving you, you don't feel like you have to do it. Hey, kudos to you 100%, Lisa. Kudos to you. I love it. So you got to listen to your body, listen to your intuition, and know what you feel. Listen to your body. Your body might have said, Lisa, you might have said that I'm tired. I'm not going out. Like I don't. I'm getting home at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Got to wake up and go. And you're like, nah, I'm not doing that no more. Right. So listen to your body. Your body will tell on you. Your body will tell you. What it is that is working for you or not. A lot of people are stressing now. A lot of people are getting sick. Why? Because they don't eat right. They're not listening to their body when their body starts to shut down. Your eyes get tired, you get these headaches, right? So, because a lot of time, again, we want to do what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are on medication for the depression, but they're still able to function because they're taking the medication. And if you're a person that you're just like, hey, I don't really want to get on medication, I don't want to have to, you don't have to do it that way. If it works for you, like that, and fine. But if you stop and take some time and you're just like, hey, you know what? Let me really see what's going on. Let me process how I'm really feeling. True to the core to yourself is going to make it better for yourself.
Yeah, I think there's different phases in everyone's life
Mm-hmm.
that has to do with things like depression
Mm-hmm.
or not having that motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that for some of us, it might work to just do some self reflection, take some time with yourself, take a walk, even if you're someone who loves to go out and decide that you don't want to, maybe there's other ways that you can go out. You don't have to go out at night. You
Right.
don't have to get up and you don't have to come in at 3 in the morning.
Right.
You could go to any day event, and
Mm-hmm.
there's so many, and some of them are free, and some of them are things that you can still do
Oh
and
yeah.
have time with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some of us that do need medication.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would seek professional advice for those of us that are on medication and
Mm-hmm.
might want to see if there's a way to not have to be on it
Mm-hmm.
anymore. But whether you are or not,
Mm-hmm.
it's always good to seek professional help.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. We did just. I think some of us think that the pandemic, our COVID shutdown happened like donkey years ago, and it didn't really. And I think there's still people that are reeling from the side effects of it,
Mm.
right? So, yeah.
Okay. You got a comment?
Yes, Lisa, my girl, said,
Lisa.
my solitude and sleep are my priorities now. Laugh
Yeah.
out loud.
Yeah.
That's not funny. That's
Yeah.
good, girl. You
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And she
Solitude
also
and
daytime
peace.
brunch party. Yes, yes,
There's a
I
lot of
am down
those.
for the daytime brunch.
Brunch
I mean,
party,
there's
yeah.
lots of places where we live that
Mm-hmm.
have phenomenal brunch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some of them have mimosas that
Mm-hmm.
are just bottomless, and
Mm-hmm.
some of them have lobster with their brunch. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this place,
Ooh.
we up
Yeah,
there with the brunches. We are like top tier with the brunches. Okay. So yeah,
yeah.
brunches, tea parties,
Mm-hmm.
museum,
Mm-hmm.
parks. There's so many things that you could do in the day and still get that feeling of being
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
and still get your solitude and sleep,
Mm-hmm.
which is very important.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think we take it for granted, those things when we're younger. And
Mm-hmm.
when we get older, those are things that we really need, that we need to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Things that are not shallow,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Draining dynamics that people take on for no reason. Because again, I gotta fit in. it's the norm. Like you are at work and they're like, hey, let's go hang out. Hey, meet up. Let's meet up at 7. And you're just like, man, I'm tired. I had a hard day. Like, but then you don't want to disappoint them. So you just like, all right, yeah, I don't really feel like going, but I'll come. Right? All the time.
Yeah, I don't think
You
I've ever been that person.
no
No.
people pleasing. Because that
No.
leads into people pleasing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because you always want people to be you want to be liked. You always want people to be happy with you. And that's a deficit, guys. That's a deficit. You got to look into it. And a lot of time that stuff stems from childhood,
Mhm.
not being accepted as a kid, um, not being around parents, right? You have these abandonment issues. You can have just a slew of things that can occur that creeps into our adult life because it became a system that had to be used so that we can maneuver through the life that you were living as you're living. So if you feel that you have to people please, look into it and figure out from what age did you have to start doing that? At what age did you have to start trying to have to fit in so you can feel loved and important to not just yourself, because it's not for yourself, but for others.
I would say that I want people to mistake people pleasing for someone that is just agreeable. And I say that because I'm talking about myself.
Okay.
I say that to say that I'm an easygoing person
Mm-hmm.
and that I like to help others.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not one that will ask you, do you want something?
Mm-hmm.
And continue to ask you over and over again. I'll give you a
Right.
perfect example.
Right.
We went out to eat
Mm-hmm.
fast food.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, you can have this. And Kimon was like, are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's your decision if you want it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, being nice and, wanting to make people happy is good to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
It gets really dangerous when you start to hurt yourself
Right.
or change your values because you want to make someone else happy.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's a no. That's a no.
So I don't want anyone to think that,
But you can be agreeable. You could say, "Hey, I agree with this. Yeah, let's do this. That's fine." But then
hmm
something can come up again, and you're just like, "No, I can't do it." And you're agreeable, but you're not a people person
no,
because
I'm a
you'll
people person. I'm not a people pleaser.
not a people pleaser. I'm sorry,
I love
not a
people.
people pleaser. But you'll just be like,
No.
no, I'm not feeling that today, or
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that today. I have other plans, or I have something else
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. I'm
Right?
not going to do it.
So being agreeable doesn't mean people
Or I'll
pleasing.
even say, yes, I'll do it. And then the time comes and I'll be like, you know what? No, I'm not really feeling that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it's okay to change your mind.
True that too.
Yeah. It's
That's
okay to
true.
change your mind. It's
That's
okay
true.
to feel a certain way. And I find that sometimes that I think relates to this topic is where, you're kind of ignoring your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
So that mees if you change, well, unless something comes up, but if you've already said yes at the beginning to say everybody doing something, you said yes at the beginning and you change your mind. Don't do that the last minute though. Be like, hey, I'm not coming.
Don't do it the
Right?
last minute.
Don't do that last minute.
Don't do the last minute, but I
But
I guarantee that the person that you're telling you have changed your mind to, it would not only understand if they're your friend, but would appreciate it more if you number one said I don't want to do it anymore, or or said I'm going to be there and not show up,
true.
or get there and act a fool because you don't want to really be there.
Oh yeah, be standoffish, not
Yeah,
really
you're
involved. You
standoffish. You're
better
not talking
off
to
being home.
nobody. You
Yeah,
don't really want to participate because you really
yeah.
don't want to be there.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
But then that person have to be mature enough to actually look into that and be like, you
yeah,
know what, I understand.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So know who your friends are and who you attract. You attract people who resonate with your real self.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're being your real self and you tell that friend, hey, you know what, I this is how I feel, they should understand because they know that you're not trying to act. It's not a performance. You're literally just being you,
You.
and they should, yeah. When you're yourself, when you're true to yourself, you can have real friends and real conversations, true conversations. Can you imagine that? You know what? One thing I don't like is really is hanging out with people that are doing activities, even with people that I might even love, but it's not something that I really want to do. It feels like my time. It feels like my time. It's like the wasted memory thing that I always say. Like,
Mm.
I nothing is necessarily wasted, but it's like I really didn't. I don't want to look back on that as a memory. It's like just it didn't matter. Like it mattered, but it didn't. It wasn't fulfilling,
Hmm.
right? So make sure that whatever you do, guys, it's fulfilling to you. The tougher conversations, you can have that when you are able to say, no, I don't want to do that, or yes, I want to do that, as opposed to trying to please the other person again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A good example of that would be you're in a relationship with someone and the relationship doesn't feel like it's serving you. You're not at the same place where you were, 3 months ago. And you're like, well, we know we're growing, but we know we're evolving. It appears as if we're evolving apart. Hey, can we sit down and actually talk about, is this really serving us both? Do we want to stay in this? Do we work on it? Those are tough conversations that people should have, as opposed to ghosting and running away and not being a child, right? But actually sitting down and talking through and being real with yourself. A lot of times when we have conversations with others, we don't want to hurt them, right? We want to say the right things. You do want to be amicable. You want to be peaceful. You want to say the right things, but you want to say your truth as well. And you can say your truth in love. You can say your truth without hurting the other person. But you should. You should be true to yourself, because at the end of the day, you don't want to waste your time. A man and a woman could be living together they could be dating for 4 or 5 years, and the man never proposes, right? And you're just like waiting and nothing is happening. And a lot of times people just wait. They're like, I don't want to start over. I just want to just be in this and see and weigh it out. But in your heart, in your mind, you're hurting.
There is a wild miscommunication
Mm-hmm.
in that, because I actually think that people that are in a relationship and one of them thinks, usually the woman, oh, we're going to get married. Maybe you and the guy talked about it, but it's not really something that he wants to do ever, or
Mm.
maybe just not with you. I actually
Mm.
think that you get those signs. It's just that you're so caught up
Mm.
that you ignore it and you end up
True.
waiting, not two, but 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16 years.
Woo.
And you're like not married.
Man.
Or even in the 10 year, you're with this person or the 5 year for that matter, because that's a long time too. And you
Mm-hmm.
break up and then and then that person marries someone else,
Mm-hmm.
like within a year,
6 months.
6 months,
And you're
because
like,
you
wait a
just
minute,
weren't
what?
really paying attention. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
don't be afraid.
don't be afraid.
Just say how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is, I want to be married in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Say it out loud. You
Yeah.
can say that with love,
Mm-hmm.
and then get the feedback
Mm-hmm.
and actually read in between the lines if there are any.
Yeah.
Because maybe that person's not as great a communicator as you are.
Right.
Maybe they might beat around the bush, but we're not stupid.
Right.
We're all adults,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can read between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not ignore those hidden messages. We have a comment from Egbert Allen. There's a big misconception that you have to be with others to have a good time. Being by yourself brings so much peace of mind and relaxation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can.
It does.
And shout out to Pamela.
Hey.
Pamela Forbes, shout out to you. Thank you
Mama
for joining the
P.
Positive Forces show. It's nice to see you.
Love, love.
It's nice to hear from you because we can't see you,
I know.
but it's nice to hear from you also.
Yeah. Veronica Ellis, big up yourself.
Shout out, mommy.
Big up yourself. Julie Bailey, love you. All right. So those tough conversations must be had. All right. Not on the shallow, not on the surface. Wholeheartedly go into your conversation, go into your truth. Hey, sit down, get a pen, write it out, do something. You can go into the bathroom, rehearse what you have to say, right? Whatever it is, just make sure you get the courage, you get the strength, and you talk it through. Do not waste time. Something as small as you and I could be having a conversation and you could say something, and then I could be thinking, I wonder what she really meant behind it. And I never asked you, right? It's something that simple. Then you go home, I go off, and I'm thinking, what did she mean by that? And I could have just taken the time right there and say, hey, elaborate a little bit. Like, what does that really mean?
Let me
Right?
tell you,
Yeah.
we don't have that type of friendship.
No, we don't. Because we literally are respectful to each other. One, two, we'll say things in truth.
Yeah.
But we'll joke it off and we're like, yeah, you are right. Like you did
Right.
today. Like I was just waiting for you to get, sane again, but you have to be, and that's knowing who to pick as your friends,
Mhm.
making sure that again you attract the people that is going to love you authentically, you
Yeah, the way you are.
the way.
Just the way you are, period.
Yeah.
And all of your quirkiness and dumb questions and all of your, super smart questions and your genius and everything that's you.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Acceptance.
Yeah. If somebody can't accept you for who you are with all of that, peace. You don't have to be buddy buddy. You don't have to be 100% friends. They don't have to be a confidant.
They could be acquaintance
an
friends.
acquaintance friends, right? Yeah.
It's be shallow friends.
Yeah. Listen, you're important and you matter. I promise you, you are. And the person that doesn't accept you for who you are, when you free yourself from them, the people, your true tribe, when they finally meet you, they're gonna be like, dang, where have you been? And you will feel loved and accepted, and you will be able to reciprocate that to them because you're gelling. It's hard to find good friends. There's so many people in the world. We're on social media. We got 5,000 and more friends, but that's surface and shallow. People you don't know. They might like something that you do, right? But if you have 3 good friends, 5 they say. If you have 5 good friends, 5 confidants, you are above everybody else. Not everybody can sit down and think, hey, I have 5 wonderful, great friends that I can talk to and tell my truth to and just be honest with. Not if you don't have 5, do you have 3? All right. Look at the people that you're interacting with and really start to get to know people, not just on a shallow surface, but get to know them for who they are.
Yeah, connections.
Yeah. They're really, really, really important. Yeah. Ooh. What if nobody applauds? What if no one's cheering you on? What if you feel like you're all alone and nobody's seeing what I'm doing? It's okay. It's okay. A lot of times when people get that cheering from other people, they get the applause from other people. When you turn your back, they might not be applauding you, right? So make sure you can applaud yourself, you can cheer for yourself, and do what you do out of your purpose, because when you do something out of purpose, it's easy. Do something out of purpose, it's meaningful, and it doesn't matter who accepts it because you know that was authentically you working through whatever it is that you were doing.
I think that it's nice to get applause from people that appreciate you, that really appreciate you. It's nice. It's a good feeling. I'm sure it, you know, makes some chemical in us, explode and we're
Dopamine,
happy.
some
Yeah,
dopamine.
dopamine, whichever one it is. But I also feel that um, if you know that Jesus is your Lord and Savior,
Mhm.
and you know how God sees you, it doesn't matter how much applause you won't get because you know that He is cheering you on,
Mhm.
right? And everything that He wants for you that is good for you in your life that serves His purpose, He's cheering you on.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you get hurt, you should reach out for Him, especially in love relationships.
Yeah.
Because I find that when you realize the kind of love that He has for you, that other person that didn't love you enough
Ah.
doesn't hurt that much.
Yeah. You feel grateful too. You're just like,
You
oh my, I'm glad
do.
that person's not even in my life anymore.
You do. Because
Yeah.
there's a good chance that he was the one that took him out anyway.
Yeah.
Him
Yeah.
or her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. For sure.
You probably find out later down the road why that wasn't for you.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time you were in it because you weren't paying attention. Right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, knowing that is a really big help. And I think it helps with you being real with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
realizing that there is somebody that cheers you on all the time and all of your accomplishments. So you put them into play.
Yeah.
There is somebody that's there for you all of the time. There is
Mhm.
someone that you can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
There is someone that you can talk to that you'll actually get responses from, not just what this human person thinks you should do, but actually what you actually really should do.
Yeah.
And it not be in that person's best interest, but in your best interest.
Yeah. Yeah. Get a mirror, guys. Sit in front of a mirror, stand in front of a mirror, and actually start to reaffirm yourself even more. Sometimes you can look in the mirror, you get tell yourself you look good. If it's a man, hey, tell yourself you look good. You don't need to be told that by other people.
Oh my goodness, I do that.
You do that,
Yes, when
girl.
I
You
get
look
dressed.
good. Hey, do you say
I
that? Oh,
I
you
I,
look.
I do both. It's bad. I'd be
Mhm.
like, oh my God, girl, you dip. What's that? And then I'd be like, I was like, oh girl, look at that. You
Mhm.
look good.
Mhm.
Here you go.
Yeah,
You. Yes, you have
yeah,
to do that.
you do. And anybody else that tell you, you just like you already know it.
Right.
So you're walking in your confidence. You're walking in you. You're walking in your boldness. You're walking in your. You're just walking in your God-given strength.
Mm.
And a lot of people can't look in the mirror and say to themselves that they look good. What you have to start once you're whole, you can do that. A lot of people, hey, so even if you can't do it, you think you can't do it, try with something small. You're smart. You could say I'm smart. You could say I'm beautiful. I am courageous. I am strong. Simple words, but those simple words have true big meanings. You shouldn't. A lot of people wait for other people to tell them to affirm them, and they're like, "Oh, well, that's my my love language, and I need that from you." No, you do that for yourself, because first of all, what you are expecting from others is what you should be able to reciprocate, right? So tell yourself, "Hey, I am strong," and look back into your life, look back into the things that you've been through, and find the strength in what you did. And when you find the strength that in what you did, you're going to be able to say, "Hey, I'm not as bad as I thought." Why are you laughing?
Something Lisa said, but what I was gonna say before I say her comment, yes, good one, Lisa. is you can also fake it till you make it.
Fake it
And there's
till you
nothing
make
wrong
it.
with that.
Mhm,
You can point something out in the
mhm,
same mirror work.
mhm.
Actually, mirror work is actually an acting exercise. You can do
It's
that.
perfect, y'all.
Very good exercise. And you can
Mhm.
also use that to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Because telling yourself positive things about yourself, if it's positive affirmations or positive prayer affirmations, or affirmations are good things about yourself anyway. Anything that is positive of yourself that you're telling yourself,
Mhm,
your brain starts to believe it. You start
mhm,
to live it. It's
mhm.
not like some kind of delusional.
No,
This is
no.
actually scientific. You
Mhm.
start to believe it. You start to live it. You start to be what you're saying about yourself.
Sure.
So Lisa's comment was, "You is smart. You is beautiful. You is strong." The Help. Yes. Great movie.
Yeah.
Everybody should watch Help. Help is a great movie. Thank you, Lisa.
I haven't seen that movie.
You have?
I have not.
Yes, I have seen it. I have the book. And I've also seen it. Good stuff. So Pamela says, yeah, we do. Sorry, Pamela. Yeah, we do that. That's why we change our clothes 3 times before we go out the door.
Good.
Yes.
That is good. You look in the mirror, you're like, no, this is not what I want to look like today.
Although I will say that recently, in the past couple of years, I have been like, okay, I don't like this, but yeah, whatever. I'm going with it anyway. I don't really care what anybody thinks.
It depends on
It's
where
just-
you're going.
No.
No.
This is what I have on today. This is gonna work. At least I'm decent. I'm not having any body parts hanging out. You know, I'm not, there's not toilet paper stuck to the bottom of my shoe. I might not have on makeup today, but it's okay. I don't have, my face is fine. It's okay. It's okay. That is being real with yourself. It's okay to not wear makeup every day, everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I literally wear makeup only when I'm on the Positive Forces show. I mean, like real makeup. And I will actually come on the Positive Forces show with no makeup.
Like I have no lipstick on.
Yeah, because I'm perfectly fine with that. And even that is being real with yourself. Being able to put on an outfit and say, you know what? This person might not like this. This might not fit this occasion. But you know what? I'm confident.
Yeah.
I like this outfit. This is what I'm going to wear. I really don't care what this person says or who anybody else says. Everybody looks at me. It doesn't really matter because this is what I'm wearing today.
Yeah.
You don't like it? That's you. That's not me. I like it. I like it. I like it. I love it.
You like it. I love it.
Right.
Hey, but it's really literally nourishing you, feeding yourself, being able to overpower the norm, being able to go against the grain, right? And you deserve that. You deserve that. So shout out Pamela. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Is there a
Oh,
comment?
Lisa says, I was being facetious, but you're right, Yola. What your body hears what you tell yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it does. That's why the people say get a vision board so you can write your dreams and write the things that you want in your life, so that once you keep seeing it, it becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of your everyday thought. Now you're going to work towards that thing, right? So it's the same thing. Hey, affirming yourself, please do it. Please start to do it. If you have not done it before, if you haven't done it in a long time, I challenge you to do it today, tonight, before the end of the next day, this day, before the end of this day. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we got most of it, if not all of it.
Okay. So reflecting questions, guys. Reflect with yourself. No more people pleasing. Not agreeable. We know that. Not being agreeable, that's fine. Being agreeable is okay. But not people pleasing. Doing what you want to do because you want to do it. Hey, I'm wearing flannel and polka dots today because I want to.
Yes.
And I like the colors.
I'm dressing in vintage like I'm from the 1950s. And I love that type of clothing. And I will wear it to work with pearls.
Exactly.
And it's my outfit. I'm wearing it in confidence. Being myself. Myself likes this. I love disco. You see me dance to disco, you can tell I love it. I don't care if you don't like it. I love it. It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I'm being true to myself. I love
Mhm.
disco.
Mhm.
I love house music.
Yeah. And that's okay. So
That's
live,
okay.
you got to live inside out and not outside in. Okay? Live inside out. When you live in, when you're living as you live, you know, you're just like literally doing an introspective. Yeah. You're doing introspection on yourself, on your thoughts, and then let it come out and project out to the world. And the world is going to either embrace you or not, but the ones that embrace you, at least you know they're authentic around you.
Yeah, that's your kinfolk.
Yeah.
That's your people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pamela says, well, I don't change for other people. I do it for me because I was not satisfied with the first 2 outfits.
That's
Awesome.
right. That's right.
That's the only reason you should be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't like the first 2 outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay to be able to say I didn't like it. And then sometimes you might be like, I don't like none of it. I'm not going anywhere today.
Right. Yes.
It's okay.
Yes, absolutely. I
Mhm.
don't have anything to wear.
Mhm.
I really don't. 'Cause I don't like what I have. So I'm not going.
Mm.
Lisa says, I wear
Tall up
tall up
socks.
socks
Because I
because
feel
I
like
feel
it.
like it.
Long socks, but that's in
No, I
style.
know. I
That's
know
in
what
style.
you mean. Yeah.
That's in style.
Back in the day, basketball players used to wear those
They still
socks.
do. The kids do
And
it now
yeah,
too.
my son does, and he loves it.
Mhm.
Today he said, Mommy, can I have some socks?
Mhm.
Mind you, 90s, high 90s here. Sure, Micah. What kind of socks you like? Tall socks.
Mhm.
And he'll wear shorts and he'll pull them socks up and he's
Mhm.
good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big up all the tall socks people.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Shout out to I'm gonna get me some tall socks.
I have some.
I'm tired of these ankle socks that don't stay on your shoes, on your feet when you're trying to work out.
Oh yeah, those
Oh.
are annoying.
Yes.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Well, as you guys know, this is the part of the show that I don't like. Why, you ask? Because I love chopping it up with Kimon,
Yes,
Kimmy,
yes.
Kims, on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s.
Yeah.
I love chopping it up here with you guys and talking with you guys in the Positive Forces show. We love that you check in with us, that you chat with us, that you sometimes call us. We love it. We love talking to you, and we hope that you love talking and chatting with us because we really do love that you guys take a time to tell us what you think, and that's why we're here, so that we can all have open communication and conversations with each other. So my final thought is going into next week. Let's try to have conversations. Let's try to introduce ourselves to someone new. Let's try to meet new people. Let's try to form connections. And for those of us that have some existing connections, let's look at those connections and see how we can make them better, how we can improve them. And if it requires a conversation, then sit down and have that conversation. That's my final thought. I will say that yesterday at the party, my son just went up to a complete stranger and said and made a new friend. And so shout out to Miss Kim. He made a new friend and he said, Mom, I made a new friend. Her name is Miss Kim. She is so sweet. She's such a nice person. We're going to go play dominoes. And this is someone that he had never met before. And I just love his spirit, the ability to do that. And it reminds me so much of my mom, because my mom would make friends at the grocery store in the line, just up and start a conversation, exchange numbers, and now she's your friend. So let's go out there this week and make new connections. That's my final thought on the Positive Forces show.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Listen, guys, drop the mask. Just be you, authentically you. And hey, whoever picks it up, let them pick up the mask and take it and run on their own. But once you drop the mask, don't put it back on. Be you, love on purpose, love your friends. Hey, make sure that your connections are meaningful. Okay, do not conform to society and the expectations that they have on you. Stop, reflect, think, analyze, right? Become self-aware, be present, and decide, hey, is this what I want or not? Take the time out for you. Be true to yourself. Be real to yourself. Big up yourself, YouTube family. I want to say Viscosity Radio.
Mhm.
Zion Radio. We gotta get back on there.
Yeah.
All right. Reggae Global Radio. Marlon, big up yourself. You choose radio, man. Smiles, love you. Ross Dugal, love you. Family, thank you for joining us. See you next time. Same time, same place. Yes, yes.